looking forward to the third place match. So folks, we're going to go ahead and get these players into the session in just a moment. If you are familiar with these teams and you have someone you're rooting for, give a shout out to WFaL or Aerial Goats as they enter the field.
Yep, absolutely. And if you have been enjoying this tournament, let's get some tournament hype in the chat. Why is it always team hype? Let's get some tournament hype in the chat. Let's get some Rocket Tourney 2v2 Dueling Deuces hype in the chat. Let those hands fly, people. We're about to dive into the game.
And players are taking the field here. It looks like, Posh, you're going to take this one away. It looks like we're about to start in just a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Airborne Goats here on the blue side going up against WFaL. Players are slowly starting to stream into the field. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. The third place match for the Rocket Tourney 2v2 Dueling Deuces showdown is underway, and right away we see Boxer Crown getting the ball right there. Toxic Way in the path, getting an early save in after just about 8 seconds played. So quick aggression coming in here from the Airborne Goats. With WFaL, they have dealt with that before. He comes one. Nice aerial! That's meant actually going. No! Great save from Crown right there. Mages here with another aerial attempt, but that's an early aggressive game coming from the Airborne Goats.
We've seen Magis playing very strong. He was the player to DC earlier. Warp holding very strong in a 2v1 situation, but Magis is definitely the striker in that scenario. Plays the back defensive. You can see there he's playing fairly back, waiting for Warp to set him up for this. Then he's going to pop in and try to make some moves there in the goal.
Yeah, so close right there. Another shot onto the goal from Magis. He's waiting in the wings, keeping on the prowl like a cat, waiting for its prey, which is the ball to get into position. We see a takedown from Toxic Way. Magis was actually in a great position to convert that one, so nice. A little bit of strategical play there from Toxic Way, driving in, blowing him up, getting themselves a little bit of space back there in their own net. They've been pushed back into their own goal for quite a while. The Airborne Goats are doing so well at keeping the pressure up and at building up even more pressure. When is the pressure pod going to explode, though?
It could be at any moment at this point. Airborne Goats certainly putting it on, getting the momentum, keeping it on the orange side of the field. Look at that, though. Looks like Crown saying, no thanks, get out of my box. I've got other plans for this game. It's 3 minutes, 30 seconds remain. It could be anyone's at this point, Posh.
Yeah, absolutely. That is true. Both of these teams, we haven't seen any goals yet. Normally at this point, we have seen at least one goal, but we've certainly seen a bit of a trend. Because it's been a while since WFaL got out of their own half of the field. The Airborne Goats are just going to keep them there. Toxic Way now with a great chance. Ball is between them and the goal, and oh my god, it bounces off, but then off to the top bar.
Look at that breakaway opportunity from the 50. Toxic Way comes out of nowhere. Magis goes back for the jump. He doesn't quite get enough boost on the back end of that. Toxic takes it to the bottom 90, just out of reach. That's a great play there. That definitely paid off, and they capitalized on that lack of positioning there by WFaL.
Absolutely, they kept their goal clean, even though Airborne Goats were putting up all that pressure. They just stayed back, and as soon as they saw the opportunity, as soon as the Airborne Goats were out of position, they went for it. But there's a nice follow-up goal from Warren.
Oh, the perfect trade there. WFaL sees it. They do the 1-2 touch. Magis pokes it into position here, just out of reach of Crown. Goes up. Toxic Way can't get the boost he needs to finish that one off, get the tap out. So it's a 1-1 situation. WFaL is right back in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Game is back even. WFaL getting the equalizer right there. Well, no, Airborne Goats getting the equalizer right there, excuse me, but still, game is equal, that's the result, and the ball is on the side of the Airborne Goats right now. So WFaL, for the first time in the match, are really putting up the pressure, but we see a quick clear coming in from the Airborne Goats. They're going to get the ball onto the other side of the field very, very quickly again, and both of them are just charging towards the ball. Not quite sure if that's the best thing to do, because now you've got nobody in position for that. Oh, do you? Warp with a great aerial from the side of the field.
Wow, he is in the right place at the right time. Let's check that one out. Magis pops it up the wall. Toxic goes for it, but Warp is right in the space just below the crossbar. He's going to wrap that one up and make it happen. I got to say, Posh, these teams are playing very differently. Their chemistry and styles of play are certainly unique in that regard. Warp and Magis are kind of playing in a more, I play offense, you play defense, good cop, bad cop kind of setup. And, it's not exactly the same, or sorry, that's Airborne Goats, but, you're talking about WFaL, they're making it happen.
They're making it happen indeed. Another goal coming in here from Magis from the middle of the field. Sets it up for himself, gets the rebound off the wall, and then puts it squarely into the corner. And that is the first real lead in this game. 2 goals they are up now. Airborne Goats, they're taking the driver's seat, but WFaL have shown as they can take the opportunity as soon as they arise. And this might be an opportunity. Mages actually gave it over to Toxic Way, but he's not quite in position. Now they're leaving their goal completely unguarded. All Mages and Warp have to do is tenderly push it into the goal.
He walks it home. He gets the kiss. It definitely worked out from their 4-1 situation. Warp getting 3 goals. 5 shot attempts so far this game. You know, I called it earlier, Magi's being the striker, but Warp is really picking up the offensive play this game.
Yeah, they know when to go for the ball and when not to go for the ball. Earlier, we both saw them go for the same aerial, trying to hit the same ball. That's usually not that good of an idea, but Warp really turned it around with a great aerial and notched it right into the goal. So if you can do that, you can do whatever the hell you want with the ball if you have that kind of control. And here comes Warp, and again, outplaying Block there.
All on his own. He is closing these out. Absolutely 2v1 situation. Warp takes it, bumps it off the wall. Perfect in terms of, you know, how he manages that and how he gets the positioning just past the goalie. Posh, they're stomping him right now. 5-1. It is not looking good for the first game for WFaL.
Yeah, it's spiraling out of control for them right now, and you definitely want to put the brakes on that, or the train will derail. They still got a game after this one to come back from this, assuming they lose. But right now it's looking like it. Warwick going for it, narrowly missing that. Narrowly, that's what happens when you try to say barely and narrowly at the same time. But now here comes the counterattack from WFaL. Magi's actually knocking Toxic Way out of the way, and that might have actually been what prevented that goal from happening. So they know when to go onto the, well, personal offensive as well. Here comes Magi's nicely playing it along the wall. Warep there to pick up on that. Magi's going to make the curve, drive around, try to knock it in. Not quite getting that, though. Toxic Wake is there to nudge that ball out of its trajectory, but now they have to clear that ball away.
And, you know, it's the 1-2 finishes that we're seeing left and right here from Airborne Goats. They've been playing these fairly close to each other. Magi's popping them just perfectly to Warp. They seem to know exactly what's going on the field the entire time. And that kind of, you know, map control and communication are really key when we're talking about 2v2 Rocket League.
Yeah, that is true. You gotta coordinate. You gotta know when to be, where to be, and when to be there. And right now, well, the Airborne Goats, it's their game to lose, honestly. If they're going to get 4 goals in 25 seconds, then that's going to be, well, probably one of the biggest upsets of the tournament, or of any tournament, really. I think they're going to take this game, but WFaL, well, they've shown promise. It's only that the Airborne Ghosts, they've just been putting up so much more pressure than them. What will they have to do in order to come back? Will they get another goal from them? Yes, we will! 7 seconds left on the clock.
Definitely earned that one. What a great play indeed. Bounces off the wall. There's no one home there for Airborne Goats. They get a second one. That's, you know, it's not going to make that much of a difference early into this game, but it could lead into a little bit more momentum moving into the next game now that you can see they've kind of figured out how each team plays.
Yeah, every goal counts because you know what you have to do in order to get one. Will they get a third one here? No, not quite. Ball touches the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, this first game in this best of 3 series goes over to the Airborne Goats, but WFaL, they are not done with this yet. What do you think, Unthink? What will WFaL have to do in order to come back and take it to game 3?
Honestly, you know, we're looking at a pretty tight game here. Although it was a 5-2, I got to say later on in the game, we really saw WFaL starting to figure out what Airborne Goats is doing. You know, Airborne Goats playing very well on the rotates, getting back defensively exactly when they need to, keeping the space tight. That's very important in the 2v2 when you have so much to cover. And it wasn't until about the 2-minute 30 mark that we really saw WFaL kind of figure out what was going on with Airborne Goats and how to combat that. And I think next game we can anticipate, you know, a potential advantage game in favor of WFaL.
Yeah, the area